Picture a big heaping pile of dog crap. Now, picture in your head the PlayStation Store. Aren't they just the same photo? In my opinion, PlayStation Store has just completely lost touch with whatever the heck it was doing a couple of years ago. Years ago, we were having great releases after great release after great release. And I think up until recently, we have faltered and we have no more games left. Everything's just a bunch of crap. And not only that, they're piling and piling and piling and piling on these artificial intelligence made games that are made up in 5 minutes on Unity and thrown together and thrown in the store just to add more to their section. And it's just like, for me, it really is like bothersome. I don't enjoy the PlayStation games they're even making anymore, which really sucks, because for the longest time I was a huge fan of Sony and I really believed in them. But up until recently, up until about 2-3 years ago, they really fell off. They did a bunch of things that sucked. Last of Us 2, just a shock value pile of trash. Spider-Man 2, another game coming from a really, really, really great first game and turning into just, in my opinion, a pile of gaming trash. I was so disappointed with Spider-Man 2. And there are people that have differing opinions than me. But all I'm going to say is the first game was $150 million, right? And they had to build that game from the ground up. All new systems, everything. And the second game, which was Miles Morales, was a little bit cheaper than that. And then they added Miles Morales into it, and they threw him in, and they added a couple more systems, which were pretty cool. And then the third game comes out, and for some reason, it's $330 million. And it's the same game. They didn't have to even recreate anything new. They didn't have to add anything new into the game. They didn't do that. They literally just made the same game twice, made the systems a little faster, added maybe 10 new animations, and charged another $150 million for the game. And they're like, okay, this is great. This is fantastic. This is the best game. And so many people praised that game. And I think all of that praise was just a bunch of bullcrap. I think everyone who really, really, really praised that game are liars and are lying to you, because I saw no praise in that game. I was very disappointed. I was like, you're spending $300 million and you made the same game twice with a worse story than the first game? And, that's just everything nowadays. For some reason, everything is 3 times the price, but you're getting half off, or the same product, or nothing. You're getting less of what you got the first time. And, with the PlayStation Store, it's really eye-opening, because I feel like that's with everything. I've been such a big fan for them for years, where I enjoy their games, I enjoy their content, I enjoy the things they put out. And now it's just like so disappointing. Every new game they come across, the Wolverine game, I was like, that's going to be an awesome game. I can't wait to play that. And then all of a sudden, the Wolverine game comes out, or the trailers come out, it gets kind of canceled. They wash it on their rug. They don't say anything. They haven't said anything in 4 years about that game. And now you're just kind of sitting around on your hands for this other new game that they're about to produce, which is coming out. And you're kind of just waiting around and waiting around and waiting around. And it just sucks. And I feel like that's every company right now. Every company has a huge stranglehold on 99% of the entire platform, on all platforms. Whether it's Amazon, Netflix, Disney, PlayStation, Xbox, these duopolies, monopolies, all of these things have just kind of combined into each other to absolutely make an abhorrent scene for us, the consumer, where we now are fighting for a product that is 5 times the price it should be and made it half the cost it should be. You know, these products are not great. They're not putting great things out. They're all just like there to take your money. And they are taking your money because they're the only sources that can do it. They're complete monopolies, duopolies, and completely just strangleholding the entire economy. They're strangleholding everything. You literally cannot develop your own business nowadays. You know, it's too close to other businesses. They're holding on to everything you got. You know, the company that I think about the most is 2K, and just how bad 2K has kind of taken over. They make the same video game every single year, and people still spend up to $500 a year, probably more than that, every single year on the same game. That's been the same for 10 years. Hasn't changed anything. As a matter of fact, it's gotten worse. The graphics have gotten worse. The courts have gotten worse. Everything about it has gotten worse. But people will still go and spend money on that. And it's like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you continuing to kind of put up with that crap? The reason these companies are continuing to put out crap is because people continue to purchase them, you know, and they don't care. They've learned that they don't have to care because they'll still get their billions of dollars. They'll still get more money. But what that's doing to the entire market is completely destroying everything, you know. And I'm just going on this rant because I feel like that's just the state of the world we're in. Is, you know, you have all the companies at the front that all they care about is another dollar, another dollar, another dollar, another dollar, another dollar, another dollar. And they're at the point where they've realized, well, we don't even need to work very hard for this dollar. They'll just give us the money because they have to, because they have no other options. You know, if they're not coming here, then where are they going to go? Where are they going to go for entertainment? Where are they going to go for food? Where are they going to go for clothes? Where are they going to go for media? You know, they can't go anywhere else. They're strangleholded into this same position that they were in last year. And to me, it's horrible. It's disgusting. I feel like we're wrapping our heads around something that is just super terrible. And it's not benefiting anybody but the people that are stuffing their pockets and stuffing their faces and stuffing their wallets and packing as much crap as they possibly can in their homes. And, you know, now we're just, same thing with the golf industry. Golf industry, same thing, over and over and over and over and over again. And then there's no new products. Nothing. Nothing is new. Nothing's changed in the past 10 years. You want to know why? Because you keep giving them your money. If you were to stop giving them your money, you might have a chance on actually making a little bit more of a better chance in the world. A little bit better effort. A little bit more. You know, they might actually have to put a little bit of effort into the things that they produce so that you can purchase them. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.